Welcome back to Sporting Shadows, the podcast that looks at sports in the shadows of other mainstream sports that get more coverage. Following on from last episode where we spoke to gymnastics coach, I'm joined by an elite athlete today, elite international athlete. How's and welcome, how are you doing?
Yeah, no, great, thank you, really good.
What have you been up to recently?
Just training. We've got 3 big competitions early next year, so we've just been training for them, plodding along.
We caught up the other week about how busy you are training. You've got a full week every week. Yeah. What does that sort of look like? Run me through your Monday to Sunday.
Well, Monday, luckily I got a day off uni, so train double sessions on a Monday, so train in the morning, and then train in the night, and then strength and condition as well. Tuesday, 4 hours, Wednesday's my only day off, and Thursday 4 hours, Friday 4 hours, Saturday 4 hours, and then Sunday 4 hours.
Yeah, do you get much time to do hobbies and things alongside that, or is that just become gymnastics?
No, I try and find time to do hobbies, like golf.
Golf?
Yeah, just started golfing. I've had a few lessons, quite like it.
And of course you're 19 now. It's sort of not too old, and let's talk about your journey into gymnastics, because I've heard from people before that it's a very much a maturing sport and it takes a while. Yeah. Let's talk about your journey. When did you get into gymnastics?
So I started gym when I was about 6 years old in literally a leisure centre with a couple of crash mats and a coach that didn't really know how to teach gymnastics properly. And then in 2012, a uni student at Cardiff Met, who was my coach, started a men's programme in Valley Gymnastics Academy, and then from there I've just stuck with it, and I'm now where I am today. So yeah, 13 years in the making. This is.
Was it something you'd seen when you were a child on TV or anything like that? Literally,
I had no interest in it. When I was younger, I'd be like, "Mum, I don't want to go to gym." But I kept going, and then I can't see myself not going now. So, yeah.
It's become a part of you. Do you reckon it shaped your identity?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like gymnastics is. I've had so many opportunities through gymnastics that if I didn't do it, I wouldn't have had. Like coming to university is one of them. I filmed a TV commercial earlier this year for a clothing company. That was mental, up in London.
Because of gymnastics?
Because of gymnastics, yeah. That was mental. So yeah, international trips abroad with like a good group of boys. Yeah, it's been brilliant. So
how has your journey evolved then in terms of where you started out? When you look back now, what are some of the hurdles you face coming up through men's gymnastics?
So I think many gymnasts will tell you, when you hit comprehensive school, when you hit comp, all your friends are going out, and gymnastics, you have to be in the gym pretty much every day. It's not like football, it's not like rugby where you train then you have the summer, like a season off. It's every week, every day, you're in the gym. So about 14, 15, when all your friends are going out and you've still got to find that, you've got to go to gym, that was hard for me. Like, I think I look back now, I was close to quitting probably a few times back then. So yeah, but I think everyone in gym has experienced that, or in elite sport really.
Is that loneliness, that isolation?
Yeah, it's just hard, but worth it, so worth it.
Do you feel that if there was, because of course you're part of a club, you have members of your club that you're friends with, but ultimately when you go out there you compete, is that a lot of pressure individually? Yeah,
you'd think that, but I think because I've done in school, in PE everyone does all types of sports, don't they? But because I've only known an individual sport, I can handle the pressure. I'm used to the pressure. So when people ask me stuff like that now, it's just like I'm so used to it that yeah, I'm quite good with pressure now. Yeah.
And I think we mentioned before, you're a gymnastics sports scholar here at Cardiff Met. Talk me through how that came about.
So I'm currently on the long list for the Commonwealth Games in 2026 up in Glasgow, which was Australia. But
yeah, we were going to talk about that a bit later, but you've mentioned it now. We could go ahead.
So I needed time to I couldn't go into full work because it's just not feasible, is it? 9 till 5 and then training 4 hours. I just couldn't see myself sticking with gym if I did that. So yeah, we were writing our UCAS applications, blah, 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 and my coach, also a lecturer here, why don't you look at Cardiff Met? So applied for Cardiff Met, applied for the scholarship, and yeah, got it. So study in sport management, best of both worlds, bit of business, bit of sport. Yeah, that's why I chose Cardiff Met.
And how are you balancing your degree with the gymnastics? That must be quite tough, given the elite level you train at and compete at.
First year was a bit rough. Didn't really know how to time manage. But the second year, I've been on top of things, quite good actually. It's a bit more late nights for me because start at 4, finish at 8, drive home, have food. By the time I start uni work, it's 9:30, 10 o'clock sometimes. But just little and often, and then chip away at it.
And of course, you spoke about the Commonwealth Games there. That was just a recent announcement a few months ago about the sports that have made the cut, and of course, artistic gymnastics in there. That's an ambition for you. So you're an FIG athlete, right? Can you explain a little bit about what that means?
So in the uni comps, it's novice, I think, advanced, intermediate, all that, and then FIG, which is the Federal International Gymnastics Association, I think. Don't quote me on
Something
that.
in French, right?
Yeah, something in French. So basically, like, there's a code of points, and each skill is valued from an A to, I think the highest skill is I, maybe. So we compete like that in FIG. So in the Commonwealth Games 2026, everyone will have, there's 5 in a team, I think. So right now, there's 10 of us on the long list. So each year now, next year's a big year for me, 2025, year out. There's 10 of us on the long list, and hopefully the goal is to stay on that long list, becomes a short list, and hopefully make the final 5. So yeah.
And how many sort of competitions have you got next year?
So we've got Bucks in early Feb, then straight after Bucks is Welsh Championships. Then the top 36 then, around Britain, go to British Championships in Liverpool in the M&S Bank Arena. It's a really good comp. Then after that, in May, we've got London Open. And then I think it goes pretty quiet then over the summer. Not with competition, not with training, with competitions. And then we've got Northern Europeans in England. It was in Ireland last year, this year, but next year it's in England, about September time, November time. So yeah.
Is that going to be tough towards the end of the year, uni-wise, getting that balance right?
Yeah, I think next year, I don't know much about third year. I don't know if it's, because the second year was quite hard, I thought, than first year. So we'll see. I think maybe put my dis on hold a little bit, I think, because I do really want to try and make the Commonwealth Games. I think this year for Wales, it's the strongest team they've had. And like a load of boys are going over, and a few from across the bridge that their parents or grandparents have been Welsh, so they've been allowed to compete for Wales since they changed the rules. So yeah, it's a tough crowd this year.
Yeah, so and again, you're still young, so you'll have many more opportunities in future. Would you agree with that statement I made earlier, that it's a maturing sport?
Yeah, definitely. But now you see kids like 10 years old doing crazy stuff that like some seniors can't do. So, but yeah, definitely. I've got better as I've got older. I think it's when you're younger, it's a lot on the body, a lot on your bones, and some skills are banned as a junior because of the stress that's on the body. So, yeah.
So we could see you at something a bit more beyond the Commonwealth in future than maybe the Olympics?
Maybe.
Would that be an ambition of yours to go to that height?
Yeah, I think everyone wants to go to that height. But I think like even the Commonwealth Games, the Olympics is another step. Like and the World Championships, is the effort and the skills they perform, like it's wild. They make it look so easy as well. Even as a gymnast, they make it look easy for me, and it's like wow, yeah.
But internationally, yeah, you've got Commonwealth and Olympics, because last episode we spoke to Coach Charles, and he was talking about America, really collegiate gymnastics there is another level. And of course in the UK we've got UGC, University Gymnastics Cup, and he said Bucks Weekend as well. That's sort of it for for the unis here, but over in the collegiate system there, they have it on another level. Because of course the main point of this podcast is talking about sports that don't really get much of a look in until you get to that international level. And gymnastics is one of those where you'll either see it in the news and it doesn't have that regular following.
No, it's about every 4 years when the Olympics is on or when a World Championships is on.
Have you ever thought about America?
Do you know what? I have, and I really wanted to go. But I think with the support I've got around me here, like through Welsh Gymnastics, through my coach, national coach, I think here is the best opportunity for me to make the games. Because over there, they work in a system of you compete quite a lot, so you always train in routines rather than work, harder skills. So I think if you've got to a good level really young, you're all right over there. But yeah, no, it is good out there. It does seem mental, doesn't it?
Have you ever been out?
I've been to America, but I've never been to train there. I'd love to.
Maybe something you could do in future, go over and have a bit of a train with it.
Yeah. No, they do run like university camps in the summer, and you can pay and go. But I'd love to. One of the Welsh boys actually went to the last Commonwealth Games and 2018. He actually went to Illinois University. Yeah. So he said amazing experience. Like
maybe it's on the cards.
Maybe a masters out there.
And what's the Welsh gymnastics scene like?
So, 10 of us on the long list. Only 3 of us train in Wales.
Okay.
So yeah, 2 are from Leeds, 1 from South Essex, and then a couple from Birmingham. So yeah, really trying to make a homegrown team. Obviously, it'd be great if us 3 Welsh boys, well, we're all Welsh, but who train in Wales, go to the games. So,
is that more difficult than it looks? Is most of the gymnastics activity and the training in the facility down here in South Wales?
It's harder in a sense of it's only there's 3 of us and we're the oldest in Wales, so we've got no one to look up to. We're the best in Wales, so it's hard to sometimes find the motivation to be better.
You've got no sort of role models and mentorship.
Yeah, so we're kind of bouncing off each other, trying to train together as much as possible, us 3. But yeah, no, we're getting there.
So I was talking to Charles about the role of mentorship and coaching in particular. Again, I don't know if you hold any qualifications.
Level 1, just recently done my level 1.
Level 1, okay.
Yeah, mad course.
Why did you decide to do that? In men's artistic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Welsh Gymnastics offered it to all the Welsh performance squad. I think there was about 12 of us. 12 of us did a level 1 mad course, and I've been coaching for 2 years at the club I train at, young group of boys, like development group, and I really enjoyed it. Like it's a different side to gymnastics that I'm used to. So yeah, I could see myself coaching in the future.
Go for your level 2 at some point.
Hopefully next year.
Okay, yeah. So is this the plan then? Do you have a sort of longer term timeline for your career in gymnastics? Or is that too early to call? Because you're very busy right now.
Yeah,
of course.
no, I've been thinking about it. I think it's so hard on the body, gym. I'm feeling it now, but the goal's always been 2026, Australia, Glasgow, and then another 4 years I'd be 25. But I really would want to go for 2025, but it's finding time to work and go for it, because obviously you don't make much money in gymnastics. But yeah, it's more of a pride thing, innit, going to the games. Yeah. Fingers crossed I make the first one, and then I think I'll decide after that.
Is that a sort of difference here and with America in terms of, do they get more money over there? Are they paid? How does that work?
Do you know what? I'm not sure. I think everything's bigger in America. Everything. So I think they get a lot more kit. They're allowed. They travel way more, like interstate traveling. But we do get opportunities over here. Like I've been to Portugal. I've been to Finland. I know there's a few trips on the cards next year. What's
it like over in mainland Europe? The gymnastics there. Like,
it's actually
been a fair bit.
Yeah. So I did my first Northern Euros in 2022, and it was in Finland. So 6 boys went out, and then obviously a WAG team as well, 6 girls. And it's great atmosphere, like competing with, you got your Welsh boys, and you got your Welsh girls, and then there's Sweden, there's Finland, there's Norway. It's actually a really good atmosphere, but the equipment's a lot different out there.
How's it?
So the pommel horse back home in the UK, they're quite flat. If you ask any gymnast, they're quite flat. And you go to Speed equipment, so we went to Finland, and the pommel was so round, like you had to get used to this new shape really in a day. It's quite stressful actually, gymnastics.
Did you get used to it quick enough?
Yeah, I got through. I didn't fall. But yeah, no, it's a good experience training on different kit out there, and I know America is different again. But yeah.
So you were talking about how hard gymnastics is on your body, and it's getting harder and harder. What does that sort of recovery feel like? How does that work? Have you noticed anything get worse?
2022, I had an MRI. I had a bad back for ages, quite a while, and they found a birth defect. It was like my LR. I was born with it, spina bifida something. Not like a proper spina, it was like a minor one. I was born with it, and it was just causing me some jip, like some repetitive strain. So I didn't compete floor and vault at that Finland comp. I only competed 4 pieces. And then earlier this year, I've had 2 steroid injections. Well, 1 steroid injection in 2 places in my shoulder. Bit of my bicep tendon flared up. So I didn't compete at the Welsh Champs or British Champs earlier this year. That would have been my first senior comp. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling it, and we're getting physio now, which is really good. Yeah, it's just maintenance gymnastics. If you can keep your body in a good shape, which it is hard to do because of the nature of the sport, you'll be all right. Like, you'll get through. You'll see through it.
Is that a side of gymnastics that most people don't really consider or look at? Of course, you see peak athleticism when you look at gymnasts, and is that the side people don't really consider, the dark side, the injuries and all that bodily sort of anguish? Yeah,
so we do a lot of things to try and combat it, like S&C. A lot of sports do S&C. But I've noticed, like, the days I go in the gym and it's really cold, if I don't stretch out or warm up properly, something's going to go, like a muscle, and I'll be sore for a good 2 weeks, 3 weeks after it. So yeah, definitely, when I was younger, I couldn't tell, I could run around and be fine and wouldn't even have to warm up, what have you. But yeah, as I got older, I can definitely feel it now. And I'm still young.
Yeah. And you're saying you're getting better at gymnastics as you get older, of course, but you're feeling more parts of your body you haven't previously felt. Yeah. And you were mentioning sort of training there and getting more and more involved with that. Is that going to get more and more efficient and sort of compacted as you go on?
Well, hopefully, going to try and ramp up training, do more twice-a-day sessions, because like a lot of boys over in England, they're missing school to train. Some of them are not in education.
Is that quite typical to dedicate that much time?
Yeah, I think so. Like back when I was in primary school, year 5 and year 6, in the Welsh squad, we were allowed to do half a day in school and then go all the way up to Swansea, train in Swansea 12 to 4, then come home. So we missed school on a Tuesday, and we had our absence authorised and everything. So I think a lot of people do it. But I think uni is a different story, innit? You got a 2,000 word essay. Well, it doesn't sound like 4,000 word essay, and yeah.
Is that difficult, thinking that, education when you're younger is compulsory? Yeah. Do you feel like you missed out anything at school?
No, I think socially, yeah, but I think socially definitely, but I think that was more outside of school than in school, if you get me. But yeah, I wouldn't change it. Like, I wouldn't be here now if I didn't do that back then. So it's definitely paid off. Yeah, 100%.
And of course, you've come in today. You've got training later on, right?
Yeah, training.
And where do you train? Because you train in different places, right? Why don't you walk us through where you train and why you train there?
Yeah, so I train in VJ. VJ is my main gym. That's where I've gone for 12 years. No.
That's the Valley's Gymnastics
Academy, yeah, down in Crossburn, Maine. So I train there Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. Then on a Friday and Sunday, we go to the Barry YMCA and that's where one of our teammates, Michael Tang, that's where he trains. So we go down there and train with Pete, the national coach, on a Friday and Sunday. And it's nice to have like the ability to train in different gyms, because even though it's the same equipment in the UK, you know, a different gym, it does feel a bit different, and the atmosphere as well. So yeah, it's good to train in 2 gyms.
And what's that like, going from competition to competition now in terms of the mindset? Again, because we didn't really cover this much with Charles from a coaching perspective, but as a gymnast yourself, how does that look? Of course, you've got your training, and you say you can just easily walk into training and do all the same sort of things there. Yeah. But competition to competition now, what does that feel like? So
we normally start with like a 12-week program where it starts off quite easy, well, not easy, but you know, less than what it was in 1 week before the comp. So it starts off quite not bad, and then you get to about week 6 and you're doing 3 routines on each piece in a training session. Then it tails off, it gets a bit easier the week before, because obviously you want to save your body for the competition. But yeah, no, it's great. I haven't actually competed this year because of my shoulder. So next year is my first senior comp, and I'm excited to get back out there on a proper competition. I've done the UGC comps, they were good laugh, nice to go with the uni like. But no, I'm excited for next year, Bucks, then the Welsh champs 2 weeks after, and then hopefully make it to British.
And of course UGC, you're quite successful, both Milton Keynes and Portsmouth so far. Yeah. Fingers crossed you get more successes as they carry on from Feb next year. But in terms of the last senior international comp, where was that? Where were you?
So the last time I competed internationally was in Finland 2022. Just that one? No, it wasn't. That's a lie. Okay. It was in Austria 2023, and me and Dan Winterborn, another student year, we went to Austria, competed for Wales. I think the countries were in it were like Japan, Australia, Ukraine were in it. It was a really good comp. Like all the boys were amazing. Yeah, I don't know what we placed as a team, but it was a really good experience, that was.
Is that a good buzz going out there internationally and meeting all these people from different countries?
Yeah, mate, it's amazing. Like, so we competed we got there on the Thursday. You have a bit of podium training. So the podium training is where you train the day before the comp, so you get used to the apparatus. And then in the comp, then you'd have the hour warm up to do all 6 pieces. Then you'd have 1 touch show, like show routine, that's it. Whatever happens, happens. So after the comp, then the finals next day. And then after finals, so the place that held the competition had a banquet. So all the different countries, they had food together. Like we were swapping t-shirts. So I think me and Dan swapped with the Aussie boys, and they were a great bunch. It was really good. Yeah, mental experience. Yeah, really good.
Definitely sort of memories you'll remember.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And in terms of your mental health now, when you go out, because we touched on this a bit before, that's a huge issue, not only your physical health, but your mental health. Have you had any major incidents before, or any parts of your journey that, beyond you thinking when you were younger, saying, I don't think I can do this anymore, beyond the social side? Yeah,
no, I've always thought myself quite a happy person. I'm quite bubbly, talk to anyone, talk to anything. But yeah, definitely, like if things are not going right in the gym, sometimes it does affect you with outside the gym. Like you can't get motivated to do uni work, you can't get motivated to go out, and you just, you bed rot. But thankfully, because of my nature of just being a happy person, I've been all right mentally. I definitely had, a few times where I don't want to go to the gym today. Even this year, like sometimes I don't want to go to the gym today. But no, definitely been lucky throughout my career, I think, mentally.
Is a big part of your happiness being out there and sort of quite extroverted?
Yeah, definitely. Like I'd rather be anywhere but home, me. But yeah, definitely. I was going to go somewhere with that then, I forgot what I was going to say.
Do you find that you prefer training on your own or with other people?
Do you know what? It's a good question. Sometimes definitely. Like if I'm in the mindset I want to do this skill, or I want to get this done today, I quite like put a speaker in the corner, put a playlist on, and I'll just hopefully get it done. But like more times out of not, that didn't make sense, did it? 10 times out of 10, I'd definitely rather train with the boys, and the bigger group the better, because like gymnastics is quite scary. you know, when you're swinging around a pole and then you got to catch it again, it's metal, you don't want to hit it, blah, blah, blah. So having like a big group of boys there shouting like, come on, you know, egging you on, it's great, it's definitely great. It helps you get over certain fears and certain things. So yeah, definitely train with boys.
Do you think that's important to kind of foster from either coaching or mentoring point of view, that essence of sort of team rather than individual?
Yeah, 100%. It helps so much. Like even at a competition, when people are shouting, you don't even know who they're shouting for, but you hear shouting, it like definitely gives you a kick of the bum. Like definitely really good. I think gymnastics atmosphere is a big part of it. I think 100%, or for me anyway. Like if I'm in a good atmosphere, I'll find I'll train really well, or I'll have a good training session, or compete really well. Yeah.
Has it all been positive throughout your career and journey, or have you had any?
No, I've had a few ups and downs. Fell off on pommel once back in 2021. No, it was COVID, wasn't it? 2020? No, don't know. Anyway, fell off on pommel like 3 times. Scored 7. It's been ups and downs, but I think every gymnast knows they'll have ups and downs. It's quite hard to be consistent in gymnastics, but that's the end goal. Like to be consistent. Consistent is going to win over difficulty any day.
And in terms of coaching now, because we spoke about this last time, that relationship between gymnasts and the coach is so important. And again, there can be problems there, and issues more widely. And we spoke about internationally in the news. We've had things like, obviously athlete A bringing out with support staff and problems there. I'm not asking particularly with you, but in terms of, do you think that is something more widespread than we think? Problems with gymnasts and athletes.
Yeah, no, that it's the white list has come out and all that. I think it's called the white list, isn't it?
Yeah, in the UK.
Yeah. Like some of that's wild, and yeah, look, I've been lucky. Like my coach, Alid, is amazing, like amazing coach, really great guy. Friends outside the gym, what have you. Like I've been really lucky, I think, to have my support group but I don't think you see it as much in MAG as you do the women's side of gymnastics. I think it's a lot more common in the women's side. But I don't think you see it as much more, but it's just sad really, isn't it? Just, you know, gymnastics is, for some gymnasts, it's a safe space for them to come in, train, you know, social. But yeah, it's just really sad to see, you know, some people, what they've been through, what's still going on. You don't know. And
of course that white list was a government review almost, right, with the independent bodies of gymnastics, and again the findings. Yeah, we're talking about all the problems and the developmental issues. Hopefully they rectify.
Yeah, fingers crossed, because some of them people, them girls, boys even, they're going to remember the bad bits, you know, probably over the good bits, which is sad because, yeah, it's just for gymnasts who've had such a good experience with the sport, they want to share, they want to be like, yeah, you know, I want to send my kid to gymnastics, like bring a group of friends to gymnastics when they're older as an adult, and if they've had a really bad experience, they're not going to want to do that. And it's bad publicity for the sport as well. So yeah, it's not good.
Would you say there's a sort of more of a sense of vulnerability in gymnastics than some other sports?
Definitely. I think gymnastics is such a unique sport. Like it's so hard mentally. Like mental blocks. Like even Simone Biles, like one of the greatest. She had the twisties, as she called it. It's so hard mentally. It's so hard physically. It's a different muscle group every day, and there's such a variety within the sport. Like you've got to be good at floor, you've got to be good at high bar, you've got to be good at pommel, and it's just like I always think, who's woken up one morning and thought, yeah, let's tape 2 wooden rings, and swing around them. You know, it just goes over my head sometimes. Gymnastics.
What's your strongest discipline?
So I quite like the rings. I do like rings and high bar.
So you wake up in the morning and decide you want to get a swing at?
No, I wish I came up with the idea, but my least favourite is P-bar. I really don't like P-bar.
Why?
I don't know, I'm scared of P-bar. I'm not scared of P-bar, I am scared of P-bar. But
injuries?
Not even injuries, I haven't been that injured on P-bar. I just don't know why. I haven't been able to pick it up as easy as the others. I think that just frustrates me, and I really dislike it. I'm gonna get good at it. I need to get good at it. But yeah, least favourite by far.
I think that's part of gymnastics, right? You either specialise or you become sort of broad, but you have time to develop in each one.
Yeah.
So would you say you're more of a sort of broader?
Yeah. So yeah.
Do you have to
question.
be? Is it better for you?
So that's a good question actually. So within the team, there's 5 in a team. I think in Commonwealth Games, there's 4 up, so 4 gymnasts compete, and then 3 scores count. So if 4 go up, 1 falls, then 3 scores are counted. So if you're an all-rounder, you can make an all-round final as well as an individual, as an apparatus final. So if you're an all-rounder, you're gonna have better chance of going up on, like you could be backup. If 3 go up, compete, 1 does really bad, or there's a 4th guy that you can just step in if you're an all-rounder and hopefully get a good score in. So being an all-rounder is definitely a benefit for any gymnast, competes all 6.
So it's just P-bar you need to...
Just P-bar, P-bar and vault.
And vault, okay.
Yeah.
Why has vault been tricky with you?
I don't know, never picked up vault either, as quick as the others, I'm saying. But no, I think next year, hopefully put out a bigger vault, put out a bigger P-bar, and then hopefully bring my PB up then. But next year it's interesting, there's after the Olympics, a new code comes in, so they change the code of points every 4 years. So next year there's new rules, and I don't think it's not got down well with the gymnastics community. They're very weird, very fiddly.
What are these new rules then?
So if you do a swing to handstand on P-bar, you've been allowed to come back down the same way and do like a diarmid off or something, like when you spin on one arm. But now if you swing to handstand this way, you have to do a pirouette to turn around to then swing down. So it's going to be a lot more skills in one routine for no point. And then on floor, there's a new rule where you have to finish on a double rotation. So it can't just be a triple twist, it has to be like a double pike or a double straight or a double. So yeah.
Is that a way you think, I don't know if you think of, to make it more interesting for people watching and audiences? Because we see evolution of sport quite a lot. They change things for international audiences or broadcasting. Yeah. Is that sort of what's happening here?
Yeah, I think definitely they're trying to keep it modern and draw more people in, because each code, people put out routines and then gymnasts, they don't copy, but they take inspiration from it. They try and build the routine the same. So everyone in the last couple of codes have been finishing on triple twist, so you have to get a D value dismount for it to get the bonus as well. But they've got rid of that now, and you have to finish on a double somersault. So you're going to see a lot more people not doing triple twist and finishing on like bigger double pikes, double doubles. And last tumble, it's quite hard. Like you've just done 5 tumbles, you've been running up and down for a minute, then you got to finish on a double pike or a double straight. Mentally it's going to be tough. I think next year it'll be exciting though. Next year,
yeah. As long as you're excited for it.
Yeah.
And again, we talked about this then, that evolution, and coverage wise. Again, would you say it's mostly just Commonwealth and Olympics that gets the coverage?
I'd say so. I think that a lot more competitions now are running live streams, and there's an BG Score app where you can see your routines. But I just think, which is good, but the main ones for gymnastics are definitely Commonwealth Games and the Olympics and the World Championships in October time. But that don't happen if the Olympics is on. So that's every 3 years on the row, and then there's a break, 3 years.
How do you think that will change? Do you think it's a case of tackling the root sort of cause of why, or the root issue of why it's not really popular with certain audiences? Would you say sort of women's gymnastics is much more popular than men's? How do we get more popularity for men's gymnastics?
Yeah, well, since I've been in the sport, a lot more. I know there's a lot more boys in Welsh squad now, I think, than back when I was a kid. There's hardly any. It's definitely becoming more popular, but I don't know if it's becoming popular to like broadcasting people, companies, But over in Germany, there's a thing called the Bundesliga, which is a really good setup actually. It's like a league-based gymnastics. So people fly in from like Australia and they're part of a team then. So this team could be built up by like people from Norway, Wales, England, Australia, and then they compete against a team, and it's a league-based system, which is quite good. But over in the UK, we've got nothing like that. We've got like the Welsh Championships, Scottish Championships, English Championships. Like every home nation does their own, and then they all come together for the British then. But it's only top 36 can make that. So yeah, you can't miss on quite a lot of opportunities if you're not at your best in gymnastics. If one bad day and you've missed out on quite a lot, like.
So is it you have to go out, the case you have to go and explore and find these opportunities? Yeah. You're of a certain skill level, but you just need to apply yourself where it's kind of necessary. And is that something you'll probably end up doing?
Yeah, fingers crossed. I'd love to get out there and compete in Germany, France, anyway really. Hopefully next year, because it'd be great to have some experience more experience before competing in 2026. In that stadium, competing for Wales, people, and it's good to have home games actually, because everyone was like, you gutted this not in Australia anymore, and what have you. I am, yeah, because going to Australia is mental. Like that's such a good experience, whether you go there for a sport or not. But for a sport, it's even better, really, in my opinion. But having a home games where Welsh fans might come up and watch is going to be something special, I think.
Bit cheaper. You should have
some
friends and family come and visit you up in Glasgow.
Exactly. Yeah.
And in terms of that, so you'll be finishing second year in May 2025, starting your final year in September.
Whenever it starts.
And then hopefully finishing then
2026.
Yeah, May, June 2026 time.
Mm-hmm.
And then is it the case maybe, you said you might do a Masters, but maybe you do the Masters internationally?
Yeah,
and you can go.
Definitely, I'd love to do something internationally. Maybe take a year out of gym and then do a Masters, because 3 years I could get ready for another commies in 3 years if I make.
Is it the sort of sport you can take time away from then get back into?
Do you know what? I always thought no, but then COVID hit us and we were doing just conditioning based training, like no flips, just conditioning, and going back to gym, it wasn't too foreign. As long as you keep up your physique, like just strength training, bit of cardio, you'll be all right. You can get back into it fairly quickly, as long as you get your awareness back. My awareness went a bit actually coming back from COVID.
What do you mean by that?
So how where you are in the air, like it's like having a sixth sense in gymnastics. You kind of know where you are, and like your body feels where you are. So you spot the floor, you land. That kind of went when after COVID, but gradually that came back, and it's been alright since. So yeah, I think you can have time away from it. It's just as long as you're mentally, you want to get back to where you was when you come back.
And do you know personally any people who've left the sport who haven't decided to sort of carry on in this path?
Not personally, but I think Max Whitlock, look at him. He competed in 2016 Rio, didn't he? Then he had 2020 Tokyo. He did 2020. Hang on, what have we just done? Paris, innit? Paris 24. Yeah, so he did 2020 Tokyo, had 2 years off, and come back and he's made another Olympics. I know it didn't go his way, still did really good, but to do 2012, 2016, 2020 and 24, fair play to him. So yeah, you can definitely have time off and come back, I think, and he's proved it.
Is there anything, I'll ask this final one, is there anything you would go back and sort of tell your former self?
Definitely. I think you haven't got time. Every session counts. Yeah, it's catching up on me now. Need to knuckle down a bit. There's always things you can be doing outside the gym, 100%, for any sport really. Outside the pitch, outside the pool, any sport, there's always something you could be doing to benefit you within that sport. So yeah, wish I did more outside.
Well, we'll be letting you go in a bit. You'll be doing some training later on today. But thanks so much for coming on and giving some really good insight into your journey and the wider men's artistic gymnastics kind of world. So that's been it for this episode of Sporting Shadows. Thank you very much.